Some plans are so ambitious, they take decades. We're talking 70 years to really come to life. And no, that's not science fiction. That's the real story of India's nuclear program. It just took this massive leap forward. And, well, we're going to break down exactly how it all works.
So go ahead and mark this date down, March 4th, 2024. After decades of hard work, research, and just incredible engineering, something truly historic happened. A brand new chapter for India's energy future officially kicked off, and it put the country into a very exclusive club.
And when I say exclusive, I am not kidding. We're talking about a club with only 2 members. Right now, it's just Russia, but India is now set to join them as the only other country in the world to operate a commercial fast breeder reactor. This is, well, it's not a small step, it's a massive leap for their entire energy program.
So what exactly is this huge milestone? Well, it's the successful startup of a reactor they designed and built themselves, the Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor, or PFBR for short. It's located down in Kalpakkam, in Tamil Nadu. And the big news is, the reactor officially went critical.
Okay, so that word criticality, it probably sounds a little alarming, right? But in the world of nuclear energy, it's actually the complete opposite. It's the big moment. It means the reactor has successfully started a chain reaction that can sustain itself in a controlled way. Think of it like this. It's the moment the engine finally turns on, and it goes from just being a construction project to a real working power source.
And you can tell it's a huge deal. The Department of Atomic Energy basically called it a testament to decades of scientific effort. But here's the key part. It's not just about the tech. This is a massive step in India's bigger journey towards clean energy, specifically their goal to hit net zero emissions by 2070. So this reactor, it's a cornerstone of that whole plan.
But here's the thing. This reactor, the PFBR, isn't just some standalone project. No, it's actually the key piece, the linchpin, and a much, much bigger strategy. We're talking about a 3-stage master plan that was designed way back, decades ago, by Dr. Homi Bhabha. And it was all to solve a very specific energy puzzle that India was facing.
So what was that puzzle?
Well, it's pretty straightforward. India doesn't have a lot of uranium, which is, the standard fuel for most nuclear reactors. But what it does have is a ton of something else, thorium. In fact, it has some of the biggest reserves in the entire world. So this whole 3-stage plan, it's a really elegant way to build a bridge between what they have and what they need.
Okay, so here's how this brilliant plan fits together. Stage 1, you start with the small amount of uranium India has. You use it in standard reactors to make power, but, and this is the important part, you get plutonium as a byproduct. Then comes Stage 2, which is what's happening right now. You take that plutonium and use it to fuel these new fast breeder reactors. These things are amazing. They actually create more fuel than they use, and at the same time, they turn thorium into a new fuel, uranium-233. And that sets up the grand finale, Stage 3. In the future, new reactors will run on that uranium-233, finally tapping into India's huge thorium reserves. It's this incredible self-sustaining cycle.
All right, let's zoom in on the star of the show here, the Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor. This is the piece of technology that makes this entire second stage of the plan actually work.
So, what actually makes it a breeder reactor? Well, it all starts with a special fuel made from the plutonium from Stage 1. As the reactor runs, it uses that fuel, but it also irradiates a blanket of other materials placed around the core. This process, it actually breeds new fuel. It turns one material into new plutonium, and at the same time, it transforms thorium into that all-important uranium-233 for Stage 3. The simplest way to put it is this. It's a reactor that literally makes more fuel than it consumes. Kind of mind-blowing, right? Okay, so we have this amazing new technology coming online, but what does India's energy mix look like right now? Let's take a step back and put this whole achievement into the bigger context of the national power grid. If you look at the numbers for today, nuclear power is actually a pretty small slice of the pie. It accounts for just about 3% of India's total electricity generation. Now, it's a super stable and reliable source of power, but it's obvious there is a ton of room to grow. And believe me, growth is exactly what they have in mind. The plan is to nearly triple the country's nuclear capacity in less than a decade. We're talking going from just under 9 gigawatts today to more than 22 gigawatts by 2032. That is a huge, huge scale-up. But even that tripling, that's really just the next step. The long-term vision, the one laid out in the official nuclear energy mission is, well, it's even bigger.
We're talking about a future that would completely change the role nuclear power plays in the country. Get ready for this number, 100 gigawatts. That's the goal, the target for nuclear capacity by the year 2047. It's a massive number, and it shows a serious commitment to making nuclear a central pillar of India's entire energy strategy.
And look, this isn't just some number they pulled out of thin air. There's a real plan to get there. It includes a ton of funding for new tech, like small modular reactors, or SMRs. There's a clear timeline to get the first homegrown SMRs running by 2033. And they're even updating the laws with something called the Shanti Act, which is a huge deal, because it's designed to modernize the rules and, for the first time ever, really open the door for private companies to get involved. So all of this brings us to a really interesting final thought. The activation of this one reactor, it's the payoff for a vision that started all the way back in the 1950s. But when you think about the world's desperate need for stable, clean, carbon-free power right now, it really makes you wonder, right? Could this 70-year-old plan, something designed to solve one country's specific problem, actually end up being a blueprint for everyone else's clean energy future?